Hello, and we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. I am Ying Harlan from Ontario, Canada, and I'm a retired corporate professional, and I am enjoying my digital business journey. So tonight we have four wonderful ladies joining us, and what I love about this group is that they all come from different professions where helping and caring for others is a big part of what they do. So I'm going to bring them up to the stage. So we have who Bernadette and Gemma, who are early childhood educators, and Mary J, who is a physical therapist, and Sis Leonie as a personal support worker. All right. Tonight we're going beyond their professions. We're going to talk about the another journey they all have in common, their digital business journey. So we're going to hear about why they started, what they've discovered about themselves, and how they this consistent, and what kind of future they're hoping to create. Because sometimes starting something new isn't only about making extra income. It can also be about discovering what else we're capable of and creating more choices for our future. So, ladies, welcome everyone. Thank you for showing up tonight. Please greet our viewers, starting with Bernadette, Gemma, Leonie, and then Marie.
Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning from. I am Bernadette, originally from Baguio City, Philippines, and now living here in Canada as an early childhood educator by profession, a proud digital business owner, and a child of God.
Thank you, sis. Go ahead, sis Gemma.
Hi everybody, Gemma here from BC, Canada, and I'm originally from the Philippines, from Parañaque, Metro Manila. Okay, I migrated here in Canada about 16 years ago with my husband and my three daughters, and yeah,
All right, sis Leonie, go ahead.
thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm so happy and grateful to be here with all of you tonight. I'm Leonie, a proud mom of three, a personal support worker here in Canada, and an immigrant parent from the Philippines. For many years, my life has been about working hard, caring for others, and doing everything I can provide for my family.
All right, thank you, sis. Go ahead, sis Marie.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our episode tonight. My name is Mary J. Stewart. I'm currently in New Jersey, USA from Baguio City, Philippines. I am a wife, a mom of two, and a physical therapist by trade, and a digital business owner. Here for
All
this.
right. Thank you, ladies. So we're not going to take too much everyone's time. We're going to dig into our discussion tonight. So let's start with Sis Bernadette. All right. So that's your question here. Hold on a second here. Bernadette, let's start with you. As an early childhood educator, your job requires a lot of patience and energy. What made you decide to add a digital business to your already busy life, and what keeps you going?
Wow, thank you, Sis Ying, for that question. So, as an early childhood educator, my work it requires patience, and that's for sure, energy, and a lot of dedication. Every day, I give my time and attention to the children, and I truly love what I do. But I also started asking myself, what am I doing today to create more choices for my future? That question encouraged me to explore digital business, not because I wanted to live my career, but because I wanted to build something alongside it. So, something that could give me another opportunity and help me work toward greater flexibility and financial options. I wanted to create more options for my future. Being busy today doesn't mean I should stop preparing for my future. I realize that having only one source of income can feel limiting. So I decided to learn something new and build another option on this side. So also as an educator, my schedule can be demanding. That's why I appreciate having a business that I can learn and work on around my existing responsibilities. So again, my why keeps me going. There are days na nakakapagod, yes, truly, when you are working with young kids. And there are moments when learning something new feels challenging too. But I always go back to my whys. So I want to create more choices for my future, continue growing personally and professionally, and hopefully build something that can give me more flexibility in the years ahead. So my purpose reminds me why I started and keep me moving forward. So for me, adding a digital business to my busy life was not about finding more hours in the day. It was about making better use of my time I have and investing in my future. So again, if you are a busy professional educator, parent, whatever you are in there, who feels like there's never enough time, remember, you don't have to have everything figured out before you start. Sometimes you just need to take that first step, learn, stay consistent, and trust the process. So again, your busy life doesn't have to stop you from creating more possibilities for your future. Back to you, sis.
Thank you, Sis Bernadette. I think that's something many people can relate to. Sometimes people ask, why would you add something else when you're already busy? But sometimes that's exactly why we start looking for something different. We're not necessarily trying to add more work to our lives, or we're trying to create more choices for our future. And when your why is strong enough, you find a way to keep moving forward even when life gets busy. Thanks very much, Sis Bernadette. All right, so let's go to Sis Gemma. All right, so let's put your question here. All right, so Sis Gemma, sorry. Um, Starting something new can sometimes feel like being a beginner all over again. So, what has the digital business journey taught you about yourself that you didn't know before?
All right. Thank you so much for that question, CS Ying. Starting something new in your 50s feels a lot like standing at the edge of a diving board. Exciting, shaky, and strangely familiar. But here's the truth many women do not say out loud. So, stepping into a digital business later in life doesn't just teach you new skills, it teaches you new things about yourself you didn't even know were there, right? So, my biggest lesson, I realized I was far more adaptable, creative, and resilient than I ever gave myself credit for. For years, I thought my identity was tied to my 95, my routines, my responsibilities as a mom, a wife, and a woman who always had to hold it all together. But building something online showed me a different version of myself, one that still learns quickly, yay, still dreams boldly, and still has room to grow. So, women in our mid 50s often carry decades of experience, right? But we forget how powerful that is. Digital business reminded me that being a beginner again isn't a setback, it's a fresh start. Wow. My voice still matters even in a noisy online world. I can create flexibility without sacrificing my family or my peace. And growth doesn't expire just because we hit a certain age. And maybe the most personal part is I learned that I do not have to choose between being a busy mom, a supportive wife, a woman with responsibilities, and a woman with dreams. I can be all of it. I can build something new without losing who I am. Thank God. So, beyond the 95 isn't just a career shift, it's a mindset shift. It's realizing that your next chapter can be written by choice, not circumstance. And that starting again doesn't make you inexperienced, it makes you courageous. Thank you, Ying. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Sis Gemma. I love that. One thing I really appreciate about this journey is that business doesn't only teach us how to do business, it teaches us about ourselves. Sometimes we discover courage we didn't know we had, right? We learn how to speak in front of people, just like this, use technology, communicate better, and handle rejection and step outside our comfort zone. And sometimes the biggest result isn't something we can put in our bank account, it's the person we're becoming along the way. Thank you so much, Sis Gemma. All right, so we go to Sis Marie. All right, the question is for you, Sis Marie. This next question is perfect for you because you're a physical therapist, correct? You
Correct.
know that progress and recovery don't happen overnight. So, how do you apply that same mindset of patience and consistency building your digital business?
Okay, wonderful question, Sis Ying. So, in physical therapy, we know that progress doesn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of work. When a patient comes to me, sometimes they want to feel better right away. I wish I had that magic wand, right? And I always remind them, trust the process. You don't do one exercise today and suddenly wake up stronger tomorrow. It takes time. So, recovery takes time, patience, consistency, and a lot of showing up, even on the days you don't feel like it. And I realized that building something new is very much like the same. When I started my digital business, I had to remind myself that I was a beginner. I was already confident in my profession as a physical therapist, but in the digital world is a big question. I had so much to learn every day. There were new skills, new technology, and definitely moments when I wondered, am I really doing this right? Nakakatawa lang kasi ngayon pa tayo natutong mag-tackle ng technology. But I apply the same thing. I tell to my patient, don't focus only on how far you still have to go. Look on how far you've already come. Totoo ito kasi every time you open your laptop or your phone, you learn something new. So instead of expecting everything to happen quickly, I focus on small, consistent actions, learning something new, showing up to trainings, creating content, connecting with people, and becoming, a little more confident each day, just like today. And just like in therapy, sometimes you don't notice the progress while it's happening. Then one day you look back and realize, wow, I can do things today that I was afraid to do before. Well, for me, one of the biggest changes was only not only in my business, it was who I was becoming along the way. Yes, I met a lot of people and a lot of course has passed away and moved along to a different journey. And I became more confident. I learned to be more patient with myself, and most importantly, I learned not to quit just because the results weren't immediate. So whether you're recovering from physically or terminally ill, or learning a new skill, building something new for your future, I believe in the principle is the same. Start from where you are, and you will grow one day at a time. Back to you, Sissy.
All right, thank you so much, Sis Marie. That's just a great reminder. Just like physical recovery, like you said, building something worthwhile takes time. So you don't go to physical therapy once and expect everything to be fixed immediately. So you follow the exercise, you keep showing up, and you can celebrate the small improvement. I think business is totally the same. Sometimes we become discouraged because we're looking for a big result right away. But those small things we do consistently, like learning, showing up, talking to people, making connections, can eventually add up. So small progress is still a progress. Right. Thank you again. So let's move on to Sis Leonie. All right. Sis Leonie. Okay. Um, let's finish this part of our conversation, Studio. As a personal support worker, you spend so much of your time and energy caring for others. What inspired you to also make time for yourself and build a digital business? And what possibilities do you hope it will create for your future? Take it
Thank
away.
you for that beautiful question, sis. As a PSW, caring for people is something very close to my heart. Every day I give my time, energy, patience, and compassion to the people I care for. But one day I asked myself, Leonie, you spend so much time taking care of someone else, but what are you doing to care of your own future? That question really stayed with me. As a busy mom and immigrant parent, I worked long hours and made many sacrifices for my family. And as I get closer to retirement, I started thinking more seriously about my future. I don't want my only choice to be working more and more hours because I worried about finances. I want to have option. I want more time with my family. I want the flexibility to travel and enjoy life. And eventually, I want to reach a point where I can reduce my working hours and have more control over I spend my time. That's what inspired me to start building my digital business alongside my job. It has not been about overnight success. I had learned new skills, overcome my fear of technology, step outside of my comfort zone, and become more confident. But this journey has already given me something very valuable: personal growth and hope for what's possible. It reminds me that even at this stage of life, I can still learn, I can still dream, and I can still build something meaningful for my future. I may still be working toward those bigger goals, but very small step I can take today is a step toward having more choices tomorrow. That's it for me, sis.
All right. Thank you, Sis Leonie. I really love that perspective. People in caring professions spend so much of their lives taking care of other people. But there's nothing wrong with also asking ourselves, what am I building for me and for the people I love? Building another option doesn't mean we're unhappy with what we are doing today. It simply means we're also thinking about tomorrow. Maybe more flexibility, more time, additional income, or simply having choices. And I think that's a powerful reason to start building something of our own. Thank you, Sis Leonie. All right, I'll put you guys back on the stage. Okay, so I love how all the four answers tonight connect. Bernadette reminded us about having a strong why. Gemma reminded us about, excuse me, discovering who we can become. And Mary J reminded us that success requires patience and consistency. And Leonie reminded us to think about the future we want to create. As you can see, to everyone, to all our viewers, different professions, different stories, and different reasons. But one thing connects all of us: we're willing to learn, grow, and explore new possibilities. All right, so we're almost at the end of our live. So please promote your website to all our viewers, starting with Sis Leonie, Bernadette, Marie J, and Sis Gemma. Go ahead, Sis Leonie.
So, if you're a busy working mom or dad, healthcare worker, caregiver, or immigrant parent who is also thinking there has to be another option for your future, visit our website. You can see on our screen, and my website is www.leonidesmacatumbas.com. Register your name and email and take some time to learn more. Because after spending so many years caring for everyone else, I believe it's okay to start building a future that takes care of you too.
All right, go ahead, Sis Bernadette.
All right, thank you, Sis Ying. So, right there, guys, if you want to have a change in your life, then do make a change. So, we all started by watching that complimentary webinar every Tuesdays and Thursdays, and again, with more than 287,000 global business partners. So, that is the first step for a life changing opportunity in your life. So, again, my business website is www.bernadettejourney.com, or you register to any of these wonderful mentors in our thriving community.
Thank you, sis. Go ahead, sis Marie.
Yes, stay curious. Learn what's possible and give yourself permission to grow at your own pace. So who knows that one small step today could open a new possibility for your future. Let's connect, send me a message, or register for a complimentary webinar at www.maryjstewart.com. Thank you so much for watching and thank you so much for your time tonight.
All right. Thank you. Go ahead, sis Gemma. Muted.
All right. Sorry about that. Okay, so remember your experience is your advantage. Put it to work for you. Okay, so my website is www.gemmavramos.com, or you can message me and ask for more. Thank you so much. Blessings to you.
All right, thank you. So, ladies, thank you so much for sharing your experiences with us tonight. And to everyone watching, I hope tonight's conversation reminds you that you don't have to leave what you're doing today in order to start building something for tomorrow. You also don't need to know everything before you begin. Sometimes it starts with being just curious. Ask questions, learn, explore, and decide for yourself whether an opportunity fits the future you want. Because at the end of the day, this journey isn't only about digital business, it's about having a why, discovering your potential, staying consistent, creating more choices for your future. So, thank you again, sis Bernadette, Gemma, Mary J, and Leonie. And thank you to everyone who spent part of your day with us. Keep learning, keep growing, and don't be afraid to take that first small step going towards something new. So remember, nothing changes if nothing changes. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. God bless
Night.
you.
Blessings.
Bye.